Kill it.
It's killed.
Now I know I'm going to start this off with a little bit of bad news for all my Salcoholics. But the surprise entrance is not me.
Well, thank heavens for little pleasures.
I'm sorry. However, representing me and the three guys that totally rule, the man is an international superstar, the innovator of the Rave Clash. He's a big star. I'm a huge star. He's like the Run DMC to my Aerosmith. As a matter of fact,
it's taking forever.
This guy's the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker wrestlers should call him sire. To burn his kingdom, you must use fire. He won't stop rocking till he retires. Now he rocks the party and comes correct. His chops are on time. His knees connect. Got the right to vote and will elect. All other wrestlers can't stand him, but he gets respect. They called him and said he's getting iller. There's no one chiller. It's not Michael Jackson, and this is not Thriller. He's one deaf wrestler. I know he can hang. He's Jimbo from Three Guys, like Cool from Kool and the Gang. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Rave!
Great, now we have heat from Ash. A lot of TNA time. Well, good heavens, the Jimmy Rave is not going to be waiting for Chris Vaughn to be taking up any of Jimbo Rave's glory time. And it's looking at Rave and Vaughn, at least height-wise, certainly match up very evenly.
Well, we know what Jimmy Rave has accomplished here in NWA Wildside and beyond. Chris Vaughn, a very game competitor, entering this tournament. He's done very well at his regional circuit around the Tennessee area, but he's also been on NWA pay-per-view. He's wrestled a plethora of different athletes, and he's really got a lot of experience for his young career. So he should be one formidable pick here in the Super Indy Challenge. Going to be very interesting to see how he stacks up against a former World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion, and CZW Ironman Champion in Jimmy Rave.
And the international superstar, of course, we've been reminded about ad nauseum from Salvatore Rinauro, who thankfully has left the ringside area. Not a lot of newfound Jimmy Rave fans here tonight, suffice to say.
Rave up and over, lands on his feet. Oh, takes Vaughn down. Judo throw by Jimmy Rave, lateral press, and how arrogant is that?
Must be the company that Rave is keeping these days.
Well, it's certainly rubbing off on him. You can see his head swelling from here.
Sort of looks like Sal's head. Sal Rinauro, of course, being the our Wildside diva.
Which, like his nose, is quite bulbous.
Looks like he got a two-car garage. Regardless, enough about the proboscis on the head of Salvatore Rinauro as Jimmy Rave and Chris Vaughn duking it out in this first matchup, in the first ever. Oh my goodness! Boy, Vaughn really almost ran into the bottom of the feet of Rave.
He was somehow able to shrug him, though. Look at that nice drop kick, sends Rave to the outside.
Must not have been quite as lethal as we expected. That's good. And Chris Vaughn, as in fact all of the athletes in this 10-way, in these 10 athletes here, are going to have to be really adept at thinking on their feet and being very ultra adaptable in everything they do. You don't know who your opponents are going to be, certainly in this first matchup. If you win your matchup, you have a pretty much good idea you're going to be competing again later tonight in a 5-way. Although Jimmy Rave meeting up face first in that security railing, I think he has designs perhaps running and meeting his dentist sometime soon.
Yes, quite possibly. If he takes another one of those into the guardrail, he'd better.
Jimmy Rave is calling for a timeout. Let's check and see the rule book if timeouts are back in wrestling. No timeouts still in pro wrestling. They haven't changed it.
Up and over goes the original ecstasy. Jimmy Rave, the international superstar, or the self-proclaimed, the Sal-proclaimed international superstar. Dug a clothesline there. Nice bulldog counter by Chris Vaughn. Gonna try to wrap it up here. Hooks the leg. 1 count, 2. Rave up. 2 3/4.
I caught one of Chris Vaughn's early matches very early in his career, which wasn't a long ago, quite obviously. And boy, the amount of improvement this guy has shown in a relatively short period of time is impressive indeed. I think Rave might be somewhat flummoxed by how good Vaughn is here tonight. Can't say I blame him.
There's a waist lock by Chris Vaughn. And Jimmy Rave with the cheap counter. The mule kick there, but Vaughn is up, still feeling the pain of being kicked right square in the goods. Ah!
Well, frankly, you just got to gut it out, no matter how much searing pain. A pin attempt from Vaughn. And Rave still able to kick out convincingly. There are some time limit issues here, so hopefully the competitors are aware of that. If they're not, they'll find out in the rude sort of way, I would imagine.
They were briefed by the championship committee of NWA Wildside on all the rules and regulations of this tournament. A very prestigious honor, the first ever Wildside Super Indy Challenge and the first ever Super Indy champion. They're going to be crowned tonight. Talk about all the great tournaments throughout independent wrestling, the King of the Indies, Super 8, and various promotions have had theirs. But here in Wildside, now the Super Indy. And this is the first matchup as we see an exchange of pinfalls here. Whoa! Rave went for the running knee. That was very close there. Ducks a clothesline, STO onto the knee. Rave counters all the way around. Hooks him yet again. And a reverse fireman's carry slam.
And Jimmy Rave continues on, and you will be seeing him later in this 5-way matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, winner and advancing to the finals of the Super Indy Challenge, the original ecstasy, Jimmy Rave.
Chris Vaughn got the goods, but the juggernaut, that is Jimmy Rave, was apparently too much for Chris Vaughn here this evening.